Happiness is beating the blues. Let's talk about it. The Pies took on Carlton back at the MCG. Thank God we weren't at Marvel anymore, and it just turned into a walk in the park, if you will, right? A walk around Jollymont Park, if you will. Carlton came out pretty strong. Like, we knew they were going to come out strong. We knew there was going to be some sort of response, and I spent most of my day obviously thinking about this game because it was just such a big game. And I know Carlton have been poor these last couple of weeks and stuff, but it's still a pretty big game. And I thought, Carlton were going to respond, and they come out that first quarter, and then they're down by a goal or something, and they're really giving it to us. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a close game. But then we just put our absolute foot down after quarter time, especially during, the second and the third quarter. And that was just... It epitomized our whole season. It just epitomized our whole season. And it was one of those wins where you just felt like everything now is starting to click. The St Kilda win, the West Coast win, we did what we needed to do. We ground out those wins against those teams. But as soon as we got back onto the MCG, as soon as we have got more space, for us to work into, we're running down the wings. Our tools are getting more space. We're getting goals out the back. We're defending well. It was just vintage Collingwood. What I wanted from Collingwood, though, was a fast start. And a fast start is what we got. We scored 4 goals in the first quarter, which we typically don't start super well. But I thought we really started well. And even though Carlton was sort of peppering us and the forward line and stuff like that, our defense held up really well. We could have used the ball a little bit more. We tightened that up at quarter time. We score another 4 goals in the second quarter, and that's when we start to get on a run. And we just looked really, really clean. Like some of these kicks that these players were hitting, I guess it was like, The main difference that I could see between Carlton and Collingwood was when Carlton were trying to hit up a player, it was very direct to the player. Like he's, pointing here and you're kicking to him. Collingwood, because I was up on the 4th level for a change, and I could, sort of see the play and what was going on. And we were just kicking to where we want the player to be. Like Jamie Elliott's here. Yeah, I'm going to kick it here because that's where I want you to mark the ball. And that's where I want you to sort of kick from. We were just dictating where we wanted our players to be. And that was the stark difference I could see between the two teams. And then we come out after half time, and I thought, okay, we were up by, 4 goals at this point. So I thought, all right, we're going to definitely sort of put our foot down. But to kick 8, what did we kick? 8 goals for? 8 goals for is our best return in a quarter all year. That was incredible. An 8-goal third quarter. They say the third quarter is the premiership quarter. And that was Collingwood getting into 4th gear and causing turnovers. We scored over 70 points from turnovers today. We're the best in the competition to do that. And that's because our defense is so sound. That's because we know how we're playing. We're very predictable. You would have heard Craig McRae say that, the players say that, where we're predictable with each other, so we know where we're going to be. And that's why I say we're kicking to where we want the players to be, because that's, they're just like a mind meld. They know what each of these players are going to do. And then, we go into this game with a few players out. Rowan Steele comes in, has an incredible game. Feels like he's been there for 3 years. He's been there for 3 weeks as a mid-season draft pick. Incredible. Tom Mitchell comes in for his first game. And I was like, can Ned Long and Tom Mitchell be in the same side? I really want to see it. Just give me a test case to see if we can do it. They can, because they play different roles, and Tom Mitchell is the inside mid. That's who we needed. He's so clean and so efficient in the in and under the pack, and it let Nick off the hook, it let Pendles off the hook. And Ned Long and Lockie Sullivan were able to free to do their own little thing. Lockie Sullivan had his best game for the club. Everyone, Patrick Lipinski was just hitting targets left, right, and center going into the 50. Everyone was just playing out of their skin. And that third quarter was Collingwood football. That is 2023 Collingwood football. And it's just a new gear this year. The first quarter, we did what we needed to do. That was like second gear, right? Second, third gear. Second quarter, it was sort of the same. So you're saying in second gear, after half time, we go, nah, bang, 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 bang. We're going fourth gear, press the turbo, the NOS button, and we're going fast and furious out of this thing. And let me tell you, we were fast and Carlton were furious. There were a lot of players that started today, and we'll talk, go more in depth in Swoop standouts, which comes out in a couple of days. Actually, it'll come out tomorrow. But, Dan McStay kicking 4 goals, probably one of, if not his best game for the club. Jamie Elliott getting to his best ever goal tally in a season. Kicked goals 40 and kicked 41 and kicked 4 goals today, which was absolutely, I'm just so happy for him. Size him up for the All-Australian jacket because he's going to get it. One guy, Isaac Quaynor, I thought had a really good game. He had 4 intercept marks. Darcy Cameron had 4 intercept marks going up against Pitnet and De Koning as well. But one guy that I thought had an incredible game, kept Curnow to 0 goals when he was on him, and just was just a rock in our defense, was Darcy Moore, our captain. Now, for weeks, people have been calling for his head. Give away the captaincy. Does he deserve to be captain? He's playing shit, blah, blah. Like, mate, for the last month or maybe even a little bit more, Darcy Moore has been doing everything right. And this game was just a culmination of everything he's done right in the forefront, right? He played so bloody well today. He played so bloody well. And I won't stand here and take any, or sit here and take any Darcy Moore slander anymore. Like, he is that guy. He's gone back to his sort of 2023 form, and he has for about 4 or 5 weeks or so. And he's just doing everything that we need him to do, especially without Billy Frampton now. He has to be that guy, and he proved today. Curnow's gone back to back 3 games with no goals. He's usually kicking 3 or 4 goals against us, and Darcy Moore stepped up. He doesn't usually play on the best forward, but Darcy Moore stepped up, and when he had to play on Curnow, he had to play, and he bloody got him. He got him, and then he was playing in Ashton Moore, and he had him. So I'm just stoked that Darcy Moore, some supporters, but he can quell the fires now. So what does this sort of mean going forward? Now, we've had 14 wins. Craig McRae says that 14 wins is what we earmarked at the start of the year that we needed to qualify for finals. So we've officially qualified for finals. Last year, we had 12 wins for the entire year, and we missed out on finals. This Collingwood side, I was going to say, is unlike anything I've ever seen. And I guess that's kind of true. In 2023, and I know I've said this before, but I want to say it again. In 2023, we were riding the adrenaline off close wins, right? In 2024, injuries, and we just were playing a little bit poorly and terribly, hangover, whatever you want to call it. But this year I feel is different. And you keep hearing me say we're going to different gears. Every single week we're playing a different style of game for what we need to. We're a chameleon sort of team, the Collingwood Chameleons, if you will. And we're building something special, right? They say that your best team is only as good as your bottom 6, right, in your team. We don't have bottom 6 players. Everybody comes in and plays an incredible role. I can't fault anyone's game today. If I'm really thinking about it, some people had lower games, but I can't fault anyone's game because everyone played exactly how they needed to play. This is something special. We're building something. Well, I guess it's already built. What would you say? We're growing into something special because the building is there. The spine is there. We've got everything, and now we're growing into it. Craig McRae says it's all about different seasons, and at the moment we're in winter. We'll come out of winter and we'll go into spring, and spring is where you want to be playing your best football. We had a glimpse of it today. And 14 wins, qualified for finals. We're 2.5 games clear. I know technically we're 3.5 games clear, but if you look at the teams around us, they're not going to drop games. There's not going to be any sort of big upsets. I don't think anyway. We have the privilege now to rest players and rest older players. Jeremy Howe comes off and gives Will Parker a go. And it's these young kids that are coming in and playing their role when we have at least, maybe 6 or 7 best 23 players out of the squad. We are not even in our final form. I don't know if you guys watched Dragon Ball Z when you were younger. I watched it on Cheese TV. That's how old I am. And there was that Cell saga, right? And I know Cell was the evil guy and bad guy and stuff like that. But Cell, he was fighting really well and beating all the guys. And he wasn't even in his final form. And when you got to Perfect Cell, that's when he was just an absolute beast and beating everyone down. We're not at Perfect Cell yet. We're not at Perfect Collingwood yet. We've got a lot of players to come back, and pressure on spots is going to be hard, you know. It's going to be absolutely hard, and there's going to be a lot of heartbreak this season and going into finals. So, one, prepare yourself for that. But seeing this team just, not even this team, this club, this club make me just so happy. Just, it's just, you know, I love a win. I love a win, right? But doing it against Carlton and burying them and putting another nail into their coffin just makes you feel good for the weekend. It makes you feel absolutely good for the weekend. But it's more than that. This club, what they've given to us fans over the last few years has been second to none. Second to none. I know last year was a bit disappointing, but we still rocked up. We still showed up. This year is special. I can feel it in my bones. And I said that, I felt it, that it was growing in me after that Fremantle game where we won again at Optus Stadium, a few months back now. This is something special. And soak it in. Absolutely soak it in. It's going to be a good season. I can feel it. It's going to be a great season. And, you know, smashing the Blues by 50-plus points, the biggest win we've had against Carlton in 10 years, says a lot. And one more thing. Nick Dacos took 2 contested marks, more marks than Charlie Curnow. How good is that? Let me know your thoughts down below on this game. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.